conference meeting. My name is Rafik Damak. I'm from Tunisia. And so I'm not sure how many of you attended IGF before. So who is, let's say, can those who are attending for the first time the IGF raise their hands? Okay, so we need some history then. Maybe you don't know, but we have what we call the dynamic coalition. So that's kind of group, multi-stakeholder group, where people can be involved. So it's quite informal, and we can discuss about many internet governance issues, but for specific topics. So you can have about net neutrality, about freedom of expression, and so on. And in 2009 in Sharm el-Sheikh, there were several group of people and individuals in the organization. And that time we decided that we should have a dynamic coalition on the internet governance for youth. The idea is not just for youth just to participate, to be here, or to be in some children protection workshops and so on, but really to be a part of all the process and all discussion and session. Since 2009, so that's almost 4 years. One of the problems with, I think, with the youth, they grow up someday and they get older, and it's a time for a transition and to have new people joining the coalition to take the leadership. Myself, I'm just doing what is more housekeeping to keep this dynamic coalition, to keep contact with all our existing members. And I hope this meeting to be the start for a new phase for the coalition, to define new goals, a new roadmap. So I see that we have many new people here, so it's good to join, and then you can set up the agenda and the roadmap. But I think we can start first is to get your opinion about several workshops, and from the perspective of the youth, how do you see if the youth voice were heard, if it was expressed, and what do you think if you really think that the youth were enough represented in IGF? So do we have any volunteer to start with? Nobody attended any youth workshop or youth-related issues workshop, or has? Okay, yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Vivian from Net Mission of Asia organization. So actually, I have been the panelist for several youth workshop, and actually, I found that the voice of youth is not enough in this idea because of the number, and as well as I think the adults are not really treasure our opinions, especially for we who are the first time to join the IGF. And it's really that actually so many workshops. Many adults say that they treasure the youth opinion, but nevertheless, when youth we attend the social gathering event like the cocktail party or etc., actually they don't want to talk to us, or even though we greet to them, they think that our opinion are not valid enough for them to listen. So it's hope that through these workshop, we may really do something to show the adult that actually we care about the internet, and we hope to do something, and we hope to raise their awareness towards our voice. Thank you.
Thank you. That's interesting. Particularly about social gathering, that you think that it's not easy to approach adults, or they really don't care. So, what do you think it can be a solution? What you suggest?
I don't know, but at least we have to cultivate a concept that there are youth to participate in IGF, and they are eager to social with the adult. Because we actually approach many different kinds of adults in the social gathering event, but it seems that they are not interested in us, even though we look young. But in many workshops, they always say that, we have to empower the youth, we have to include the youth opinions, but when we are trying to talk to them, they are not interested in our opinions.
Thanks. Yeah, I see. It's kind of, it's some they try to patronize about the youth. There is a lot of mention of the youth, but even in some workshop, it's about the youth, and you find all over 40 people in the panel. And as a coalition, we made several statements to be clear about that we need really at least one youth panelist in each session, main session and panel. It's not just about when it's about youth issues for all workshops, but unfortunately we still have diversity problem within IGF. Is not enough enforced in all workshops, even if it's in the requirement. If you submit a workshop proposal, it's in the requirement, but it's not enough enforced. So, okay, yeah. Can you please introduce yourself?
So, hello, I'm Josh I'm in 9th grade in International School Bangkok in Thailand, and I'd like to add on to the point that it's possibly the greater implementation of youth into programs. Like they said, sure, they can say, we value the youth, but I think it's like them saying it but not acting upon it, and so I think it's a change in mindset which is needed, because especially for the internet being something that's going to be possibly used much more in the future, and thus the youth is the future as well, and thus adults should possibly make that connection and thus value youths more, as it is the youth's future, and thus youths should shape their own future. And so I think it's just that they need to, they also need to change their mindset in the sense that they are the next generation, and thus they should be given a greater say on how it's shaped.
Okay, but what do you suggest concretely?
Concretely, I suggest possibly like you said, probably more implementation of youth panelists, because I think first that there's going to be initial reluctance from adults, but I think if it's enforced a little bit and more youths are implemented, then people can adapt to that idea of having a greater youth say.
Okay, so any other comments? Do we have any remote participant? No. Okay. So we have this coalition. As I said, this need to be maybe more dynamic, and we need new blood, new ideas. So how do you see it as a platform? Because I see there are many newcomers. How do you see it as platform, so to advance and advocate for more youth participation? Can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you. Junita Upadhyay. I work with ECPAT International. We work on children's issues. Now, this is the first time for me attending this event, and we focus a lot on children and youth participation. And I think we recognize the limitations of participation at events, and it cannot be representative. It's highly selective, and we were just discussing in another workshop also that how many youth can really actually come to an event like this? It's very expensive. So what we need to focus, and I think in a platform like this, which is a great opportunity for youth participation, is how can IGF institutionalize youth participation in its processes. So I think this is just one of the opportunities to participate at the events, and always by highly representative and selective. But what are some of the mechanisms that can be instituted so that the larger number of youth can participate through in its policies and programs? And I think it is already happening. I'm not very well informed of all the things that's going on, and setting up of indicators also to demonstrate the impact of participation. For those who are here already, I know you said that you've represented it in different panels, workshops. Can there be a monitoring mechanism to make sure the perspective, the recommendations of the youth, how have that been taken into account in the final outcome documents? Maybe that's one thing maybe this coalition can also monitor to see how many youth participated in the workshops and how it was reflected in the final outcome and what were some of their recommendations, and to set up some mechanism, maybe prioritize that, and then this group can take it forward. Which one do we want to focus on, how that can be taken forward? Thank you.
Thanks. That's interesting to have a matrix, I guess. But so we can ask, send a request to the secretariat to get more statistics about the participation and also in the panels, which is quite important. Any question? Any comment? Yes.
Actually, I would like that the youth coalition could be held earlier for the next year, because I think it is a great platform for all the youth to gather together to know each other before we become the panel for the workshops or chair the workshop. Because actually for this year IGF, the NAT mission has met the TALNet and also the InSafe youth, but because we do not see each other beforehand, so when we go to the workshop, become the panel together, actually there are some communication problems between us. So I believe that actually the youth coalition can be a good platform for us to meet each other first.
Okay, about the coordination, I think from NET mission we have some members in the coalition, and usually before any IGF we ask members if they have any workshop they are organizing or they are participating, and try to list all of them and to coordinate. If we want to make this meeting more early, it's possible. It really depends to the secretary and the schedule, but we can request that for the next year, maybe even to have it in day 0, so it's before the IGF and as a pre-event, so we can coordinate it, but still it also depends, when people come. So maybe in the first day or day 0 it can be a solution. Okay, any other comment?
Thank you. Hi, Dio, and I'm David from Asia. And for Asia, we're supporting programs of and we are supporting programs of the mission and encourage youth to participate on in the internet governance issue, on the discussion issues. And so now you just mentioned a point of getting more earlier preparation for the youth to share their opinions or share how they will be having different workshops in IGF. I think it's a very good idea because for me, it's the first time for me coming to the IGF. And we have attending a PE event event day, which is organized by ISOC. For the ISOC, they're having sharing the model of multi-stakeholder approach and engaging more people or newcomers to know about how they will be experienced in a few more days in the IGF. So I think it would be great for like that mission or like the other organizations that have previously attending in IGF to share their opinions or share their experience previously the experience, or also promoting their events in the IGF for the PE event day. I mean, in the day 0, it would be very great if the coalition can we do something like this, or we can also contribute our ideas on how the workshop can be of the very first day. And yeah, I think that for the coalition we already in, or the members of coalitions, we can contribute our ideas on holding the events for the PE event days.
Okay, thanks. Well, you are mentioning ISOC. They have much more resources. We don't have such resources, just a coalition of individuals and organization. We don't have resources, quite informal. ISOC, they have staff, and so they can do this, I think. But we may at least ask, how to say, for meeting room and so on, and day 0 that can be easily done. And for bringing people, we cannot do that. I think it's up to organization to provide enough funding, fellowship program and so on. to have more young people from all over the world. So it's still lacking, but we can work on that. I think maybe define some strategies, some coordination. Well, any other question, comment? Yes. Age group?
For the youth.
Well,
are you following UN guidelines, or are you following national guidelines, which, as you said at the beginning, varies from country to country? Just because I'm a newcomer, so I just wanted to understand what is the definition of youth for this coalition.
I think we really never succeed to have consensus about that, but we follow more the UN guideline that I guess still 35 years. But also, when we talk about youth, you can have children, teenagers, and young adults. So including all of this and just the same group is also challenging. So we have, I guess, several stakeholders within the same group.
You're saying under 35, 14 to 35? UN is 14 to 25, under 25. So
35. Because also, if we want to involve government, it's hard to ask a government representative. So we welcome everybody, but mostly we have really young people involved. So. Okay, any comment? Or how to say is how to move forward? Yes. Okay.
Oh, thank you. I want to a bit clarify on the first point. I know that to encourage more youth to be participate in the IGF is a bit difficult because, like I saw, they got the fundings to support different members in different chapters in different regions to get into the ICANNs. But going to the IGF. But I would suggest that we can, because for the youth coalition nowadays we already got ChildNet or Net Mission or previously I just met the guys in InSafe. They have already attending the IGF. So I think for the PEFN Day we can at least getting these kinds of organizations thinking any kinds of workshop we can, having the capacity buildings activities on the first day, like half day workshop, to at least encourage or strengthen the networking or the bondings in between for the youth which already joined the IGF firstly, and if we got this kind of stuff during in the coming years and in the coming sense, I think that for the years after, it will got more and more youth can know that it got some supporting programs in ICANN, and it's got a network of different youth going together, and we can popularly, if we can join it, then we can have some kind of support and network in between. Yeah, that's my point. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's heavy program, capacity building and so on. How to say? There are several organizations. They are bringing young people, but I think what's still lacking is also diversity. We don't have so many from Africa, Latin America, and so on. And it's just to clarify, when we talk about youth issues, it's not just about child protection. It's really about how young people can participate in the internet governance process and to have a say in many issues. Like we organized it before in Vilnius about the copyright workshop, and it was interesting because we talk about piracy and so on. We rarely hear the opinion of young people, but in that time we have a pirate party representative in the European Parliament and so on. Really young people who are already involved in several processes. So it's not just they are coming to learn, but they are already involved. Okay, but we can think about capacity building. So it can be kind of an item in strategy to be set by a new group of. We have existing group of people, but we need other new people to join, to be involved, and to participate how to set new strategy for the group. I must say, myself, I'm just trying to handle this transition phase, and I hope that we can have new leadership. I'm 32 years old. I don't think I'm that young anymore. And I want really more young people to get involved and to have influence on IGF. And it's not just on IGF, but all IG process if possible. And not just to focus on that sometimes they kind of silo about youth issues. It should be much more and beyond that. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Can you please introduce yourself first?
Yes, my name is Katarina. I'm from the International Clearinghouse on Children, Youth and Media in Sweden. And this is the second IGF I'm attending. I thought to have youth participants in more panels that are not specifically addressing youth issues, perhaps if youth organizations working with internet governance could be listed on the IGF site, so any moderator or who's looking for youth panelists could contact a relevant organization because I think one of the problems is that it's difficult for someone setting up a panel to get in contact with youth organizations or to find youth representatives to have on a panel. So maybe if there could be like a listing of organizations on the IGF website for anyone to contact.
Yes, we tried before to ask that to be a contact point, and why not to reach a panel I'd say workshop organizer to include young people. Another way to use what exists already is we have what we call resources, something I forget. You can submit your name, indicate your bio, your interests, and so on as a resources. And if workshop organizer want to find, they can use that listing. It exists in the website of IGF. But we should maybe provide a list of organization. The coalition itself can be a contact point. And I think to be maybe more proactive is to reach our workshops, because it's beyond.
I think so to work proactively and
yes.
Perhaps the workshop proposals and then contact the organizers
yes.
directly. Say if you need youth participant in your panel, we can help you.
Yes, because how to say, it's really beyond the just youth issue, but many workshop organizers, they tend to contact the people they know already, and that's why we have really big problem of diversity, and we need to push the MAG during the preparation for IGF to take care about that, because having young panelists is a requirement. But the problem is still not enforcement about the diversity, gender, geographical diversity, and so on. So, as I said, maybe now we have several suggestions, for example, to have metrics about the participation, maybe capacity building, maybe organizing early hour meetings. But one of the things that we discussed a lot in the coalition, we should not just focus on IGF. Between IGFs, we have to do things, because there is also some process like open consultation, and there is a lot of preparatory process that we should be involved in. And that's why I really want to emphasize that if you want young people to be involved with that, they should really along the year to be in several processes. They can learn a lot. One of the easy things is to make statement. And unfortunately, we didn't do that last year, and probably not this year. But in Sharm el-Sheikh, I think, and Vilnius, we could make statement in the stock taking session. It's kind of almost before the last before the closing session. It's kind of open forum. We made a statement at the time, and you can find our it's on the website already. It's YCIG.org. You can find all our you can find all our previous statement, what we did, and also please join the mailing list. It's open membership, so everybody can join, and you can get our updates, and you find more information. It's because there is history how this was formed, and the people in that time, as I say, the problem, young people get older too, so and they move to something else, and that's why as dynamic correlation is important. We are different from other dynamic correlation because we need to build the continuity, so new people come to take the lead from the predecessor and so on. Okay, so what I can suggest, we have several members who are not here. I would suggest that you join the mailing list, and then we can start really discussing who those volunteers who can just take the lead. It's not the idea of having leadership, or it's not top down. Even I was there, just I do coordination, handling the website, the mailing list, and so on. So, but what we can discuss, what we can do from now till the IGF, I think in Istanbul, and how you think that we can improve the youth participation. It's not just to have young people hanging around the IGF, but to have real how to influence. And we expressed that several times in the statement. I'm not sure they get the point. I understand. It's interesting. I never had this feeling about, even in social gathering, they don't care, the adults. So what we can do to improve, how we can be more proactive, and it's up also to young people to suggest or to recommend a way to improve things. So, and I want really to hear other attendants with us. So it should not be just a few people speaking. I'm not. Don't worry. I'm not censoring you. But just it should not be just how to say. I'm myself speaking a lot. I really want to hear everybody, several opinions, and to get that diversity of feedback. Okay, can we have a volunteer or at least someone from Indonesia? It's really important how we can involve locals. Is there anyone from Indonesia? Yes, so please. Do we have a remote participant? No, I think never.
Hello, thank you. I'm Helmi. I'm a lecturer, and lately I would like to do a kind of research actually, but how my students use internet in correlation with their education. But I want to show that in some times ago I read some cases in Indonesia that teenage become a victim when they make their online friend through Facebook. So I don't know about how Facebook or another administration start to protect their user, so the user will be safe, not will be bullying or will become a victim through the social media. That's what I want to say. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Oh well, cyberbullying. That's not easy topic. Okay. We can, if I understand, maybe we can see how we can involve private sector and also government more in our discussion, and to let them really to be in contact directly with young people and to hear them. So we can facilitate, but we cannot do as coalition, because it's coalition of organization already involved in the, on children protection and those issues. So maybe at IGF what we can do is to help to organize workshops. Unfortunately, we didn't organize last year, but previously we organized several workshops. I remember at that time with the help of Finnish government, they approved several people. And so we can do that for next year. Can organize again youth workshop with young people only. Sorry for adults, and we can ask maybe private sector to ask them what they think about. Also to reach government and to let them more aware what's happening. So that can be one of our actions, is how to involve more government and private sector, also as still civil society, and so on. Okay. Yeah, I think you want to speak. I know. Please. Did you? Okay, thanks. Yes, thank you.
Just referring to the point on the ladies from Switzerland, right? Sweden. Yeah. I think we can do something like, I think it is somehow difficult for others to approaching the youth in some sense. Is existing system we already got some mailing lists, I think, in the coalition. I think we can just like posting all the contact persons online, and like for the organizations who have already joined the coalition can be posted on the website, like NetMission, like ChildNet, or even the others organizations. They can post who is already in this organization, in the coalition, and also like who is the contact person and what is the website, and then the other people from IGF who want to invite the youth to attending different panelists, being panelists or attending different workshops, can directly contact the persons online, because we can using the platform of coalition to be like sharing the informations among the members, or even for the outcomers to approaching us, or how they can reach our members in our coalition. I think it is a bit easier for and it is an easy way for coalition to be done, because it's like using our existing resources and just putting all the information online. And I think it's the first thing we can do. And the other thing is, as we can invite different people to join our coalition, and then we can also like giving different kinds of content. If this is children's organization or it is youth organization, they also put their information into our website. Then it can be like sharing the information and being an open source for different people to easily approach each other.
Okay. So if you access to the IGF website, you will find all information about dynamic coalition, and you will find about ours, and we have our website. So I'm not sure if we can, I'd say to put online all our members. Not sure it's a good idea. We have many individuals, and we discuss a lot through the mailing list. But so what I said, we need to be more proactive. We can work to improve the information in our existing website, and also to ask, maybe we should update the information in the IGF website. It's also, it's trying to create maybe also some synergy with other existing organizations. You are doing already a lot of work. We just try to coordinate. So, and also because individuals can join us. It's not easy if you are individuals to participate. So you can join, and you have your say for what's happening, and you can comment. So we can improve that. There's always room for improvement, and it can be an action. So we are making a list now. It's kind of brainstorming. When everybody will join, I can send kind of summary, and then people can comment, and then we can go from there to see how we can improve, and to have a roadmap for the next year, or maybe for 3 years, and to see how we can assess our success or failure, and to see how we can to be involved in not just on IGF, but between IGF or other process. Like, we have this possible summit in Brazil. So how as young people can participate and to find a way to influence the discussion. So we are a coalition. It's quite formal. There are organizations and individuals, but it's a platform for people to work within. Okay. Any comment? Hi, Parminder. So, yes. So, do you have the mic? It disappeared.
I'm sorry, I know I'm speaking a lot. I apologize. It's just that, like you said, I think there's so much potential, and I'm sure you all have done a lot within this and forum already. One of the ideas that just comes to mind is we heard some of the youth speakers at the workshop. They really had really good things to say. Maybe this coalition can, and I'm sure you have a structure of governance. Maybe you have a chair and you have a committee, or maybe if not, maybe that can be set up. Maybe some of the speakers can submit submissions before, and that can be printed in a kind of you can choose the topic. This was the multi-stakeholder enhancing. And maybe the youth perspective that they're bringing into different forums can be published as a newsletter and disseminated also widely. And it doesn't only have to be youth speaking at the forums. Maybe some other youth can also contribute, and that newspaper can be, widely circulated, so that if I'm not in the workshop, I can still read about the youth perspectives. And I think young people really prepare well. It's quite a lot of preparations to come here, and maybe that can be done. Maybe young people can also interview some of the experts that are here already attending. Maybe that platform can be given, so even that can also be featured in the website. I don't know. It's just some of my ideas on how youth can engage before and after. And I think a newsletter of the papers that are already being submitted in the forums and on a particular topic that has been prioritized as a theme for the IGF. I think those would be very interesting for us also.
Yeah. I think so. I think we can coordinate many initiatives or help, to share information and to create synergy. But so we have a lot of things to do, and this means that we need a lot of volunteers. And I hope people that to commit to do a lot of work till IGF Istanbul. So. I guess now we have this small group of people. I hope that you join, and then we can continue the discussion and how we can do like this IGF reporting from youth perspective. It can be interesting, kind of social reporting maybe, blog posting and so on. Did I miss something, or you want to? Okay. Well. So, no remote participant. Yeah. Maybe never. Okay. So, because this is the last day of IGF, and after 4 days, I think people are getting tired, or they are already thinking how to enjoy some tourism in Bali. But it's also a way to think what we can do for next time. Okay, any comment, any question, any suggestion? It's we don't necessarily we need to have 1 hour and a half meeting, 1 hour, but just if we can get some action point, that's much more effective as outcome.
Actually, I believe that we Lab Mission are very willing to help in conducting different kinds of organization, because actually we have set up the YGF camp in Singapore, in South Korea, and also Japan. Actually, we have different connections to invite more youth organizations to join us, and we believe that we are eager to help manage their website so that we can have a better facilitation between different kinds of existing organizations. And we hope that we can take the initiative to contact them so that we can invite them to join the pre-event maybe for next year or other workshop that we hope for the next year.
Okay.
Yes, I just wanted to say that last year in Azerbaijan we brought a group of Nordic youth delegates who shared their own session, which I thought they did very well. They had a meeting in June last year, prior to the Eurodig meeting, which was held in Stockholm. And this Nordic youth meeting was only made once. Unfortunately, it was one-time project, and I was sad to say, because a lot of the youth participating in this Nordic group, they were very eager to continue their engagement, but unfortunately we didn't have any organizational platform for them. But I will advise them now to contact this youth coalition, because we still have a Facebook group with the kids who are there. And after the Nordic Youth Forum in Stockholm, we made this publication, a report on what was said, which was spread in Baku, last year's IGF, and I also brought some of them here. Some of you might have received it in the conference bag, but I had some extra copies that have been distributed on tables. And if someone would like to receive a copy, please just leave me your email address or postal address, okay, and I will send it to you.
Thanks. I'm not sure that it was in the bag.
No, there was just a few copies delivered here, okay. And by coincidence, I was offered to put them in the conference bag. Okay. So I didn't know that before, but we still have a lot of copies, and if you would like to read what Nordic Youth thinks about Internet governance, you're most welcome to approach me, and I will send you one.
Thanks. If you have here, it's more easy to distribute. But you really highlighted the interesting point that for me, the first IGF was in Rio de Janeiro, so it was 2007. That's a long time ago. And I think it's one of the issues that sometimes they bring young people, but there is no continuity. They don't necessarily continue to attend. And I think that we lose that opportunity to have them more involved. Some, they continue to be involved somehow, but many, I think, they withdraw or give up, or to move other stuff. It's really how we need to think or to suggest what kind of continuity we need to have for young people to be involved with that. We count, I think, a lot on organization. The problem we cannot count on the IGF itself, because it has its own problem for funding. And before, when I attended, it was like, I think the Swiss government, Canada, they give some funds to provide fellowships, but there is no, I think, anymore. So we need, more funding, more resources to bring young people and to let them continue the whole process. It's not just about IGF. We have other venues they can participate, like ICANN, which can be much more maybe difficult. But also, you mentioned about Eurodig. There is also this regional and national IGF. And this is, I think, the start. That can be much more easy to participate and to be involved. They mentioned the Asia Pacific IGF. I was there, I saw them in Japan. At the time, it was last year. And that's an interesting experience to be continued. I know for Eurodig, they also have, I'm not sure the name, European, kind of something before the IGF. It's media something. I forget the name, sorry. But also in Germany, they have okay, it's in Germany, which means Youth IGF. I think in UK also they have Youth IGF and so on. That's kind of experience that's more easy to. But for us as coalition, what we can do is share practices, information. But that's really up to organization to set up such things. Okay, any other comment? Well, we almost 1 hour. I think we may, if there is no real, any comment, question, if to do sum up and to really trigger in some action. So we get several suggestions. It's really how to improve the participation of young people in the process. So we can have as a goal for what we can improve things for the next IGF in Istanbul. First, you join the mailing list. We can continue discussion there to involve others who didn't have the chance to come here in Bali. And so I will send several points. Maybe I missed some, but then you can add what you think was. And we continue this brainstorming process. And I really encourage you to invite other people to join. It's really open. So you just send the request, and that's all. It's open membership. It's open to everybody. So and then about the structure. We don't have structure, and we started to discuss that in Vilnius. I remember I asked someone to make presentation what kind of structure we can have, and then say, no, we don't need kind of steering committee or whatever. It's just really kind of informal, bottom-up, consensus-based. We discuss and so on. We do a coordination. It's not kind of, I don't think that time we need kind of formal structure, but we really need, what we need is volunteers to do work. And it worked somehow. We did some workshops, we discussed it, we submitted statement. So now for a coalition maybe 2.0, we can improve that. We may have maybe informal steering committee or something. To have, it's important about the people. As I said, I'm just trying really to handle this transition, and I want just to give to new people to take care of the coalition. So let everybody join, continue the discussion, and please check our website. Maybe you can take a picture of what we did before and what we didn't do too. So, okay, if there is no any other question or comment, I think we can. Let's say yes.
I think we all recognize how selective it is for you to participate. So maybe there can be a greater focus to have more representation from the country where IGF is being hosted. That is, I think, a little bit more easier than getting youth from different regions. I mean, it's always really welcome to have diversity, and I know you mentioned diversity as being a challenge. But still, I think given the resource limitations and so many challenges, maybe prioritize participation of youth from the host country and from the region itself. And given that it is hosted in different regions every year, and you will have opportunities. So I think prioritizing the host country and that region, I think, will be quite good if the hosting government can make special arrangements in advance to get the voices of the youth and organize some consultations and bring that into the IGF itself, and then also maybe some role in the youth coalition and others. I think that would be very good.
Yes, I do agree. I think that something lacking is not just about youth, but also in general, we really learned, I'd say, there are maybe many locals, but we don't hear them, and they are not really, we are not involving them in the different workshops. They should be at least maybe one from the region or the country, so we come from far away, and we need to hear them. But also we may use the remote participation, if you cannot bring people, they can at least try to attend, and it can work. So they can also, because maybe it's more easy for them, they can tweet, do blogging and so on. So can improve that. Yes.
Hi, my name is Hamera, and I'm an ICD Network ambassador. I'm actually here on a sponsored trip to the IGF because my teammates and I won an essay writing competition locally in Hong Kong regarding internet governance, and we actually did a research about cyberbullying. And I think that this concept can be created in not just Hong Kong, but in all around the world. So maybe there could be a platform, maybe a website under the UN in which NGOs all around the world, because it is expensive, right? To come here, NGOs all around the world. That I'm pretty sure in every country there is some kind of organization or something that concentrates on child safety, whether it's online or offline. They can submit a proposal in that platform, and then the UN, the proposal says why they should be chosen to go on a sponsored trip to the IGF, and the UN, with the budget they have, they can choose one from each country or something like that.
Interesting to have a contest that can be competitive.
I mean, and for us, right? This competition also enhanced our knowledge a little bit, so we didn't come here just empty-handed. We had prior knowledge in at least cyberbullying or something like that.
Yeah, I understand, and I think there is that need of capacity building, and I hope it's not just about child protection only or cyberbullying, but it's really to understand all internet governance issues. So you get that idea how it works, and then to have an influence, because we should not forget that we are talking also about our future. It's whatever is happened as a policy, for example, maybe in Brazil next year, it will influence maybe for 10 or 20 years. So we should not just focus on that, particular issue because you are in that age and that time, but really about your in 10, 20 years.
Yeah, it doesn't just have to be NGOs that concentrate on child safety. It could be child commissions or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But don't forget, youth is not just about child. That's one of our challenges. Really, we have a broad range of, from child, teenager, even young adult, and so different perspective and different interest in the issue. Okay. I forget what I was going to say. Yes. So. Well, because when I experienced, for example, for me when I was involved, the experience that influenced me to be internet governance was not about, I was at that time maybe 26 years old. It was not really about child protection, but it was about internet filtering and censorship. So
to really get youth involved, the youth has to be here for something related to youth or the future development or something. And I think that child protection is really going to make more participation.
It's just a part, but it's what we want the youth is to have an opinion on all maybe issues. Maybe some it can be difficult if you are going to ask young people about IP addressing or IPv6. That can be challenging, but maybe when we talk about multi-stakeholderism or the IG process in general, that they can give a different perspective. Because, for example, about copyright issues and the piracy, we don't hear so much about young people opinion, because there is that we need to change maybe the business model or the regulation, and we need to hear these people, those young people who are the heavy user of those online services. So.
Actually, I think her main point is that the Youth Commission can be a facilitator to ask different kinds of NGO to have sponsored trips for different kinds of youth to come to join this conference, because what she mentioned is expensive to come and join. So if Youth Commission can take the initiative and encourage other different kinds of NGO to have sponsored trips for different kinds of youth to come, it would be great, because the number of youth to participate in IGF will be large, and then we will have a big voice to present. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Any other comment? Okay, I think we can close now. Hopefully we will keep in touch and we follow up, which means it's always important not just to discuss in IGF, but to have the follow up and to have a clear and concrete action point. So thanks everybody for joining, and hope that we will continue this discussion. You want to say something? A comment? Yeah, please.
Yeah, first, thank you, and I'm sorry for coming late. I was just attending another forum there. I'm Kenneth Isimbaya from Tanzania. I don't know whether what I'll be saying has been said by other previous speakers or not. If it has been said, then I'll be echoing. If not, then what I wanted to say is for young people to have what they want in the internet is for them to take a proactive stance, to be upfront, to start creating imaginally how would they want to see in this internet world, and start taking actions now. What is happening now, first I'm glad that this forum has been organized, which is bringing together young people to discuss issues about internet. But again, to what extent? To me, it's just a drop if you looked at the content of the whole program of the IGF. But again, probably even last year, we had the same. To what extent are we taking stock of what we agreed last year and see what has happened as a continuation of that? Probably I would wanted to request that we need to push more and take a proactive stage. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Thanks. I think you are echoing what we discussed previously, and that's, yeah, we have to be proactive and to push more and more. That's what we can do. Yes, whoa. Oh, finally, you have a remote participant. Yeah, please. Who? Benjamin. Yes, from? Okay.
Which mailing list they should join, because he feel confused about the mailing list. Maybe yes.
Yeah, I cannot give the full let's say URL for the mailing list, but just the website YCIG.org. So you can find the information, or in Dynamic Coalition list in the intgoforum.org. So you can find that. And by the way, in Africa, there are more than 50 countries. That's it. We need to move. Okay. So, do we have another remote participant, or just okay? Benjamin. So, okay, that's where you can find our contact information, everything, and just you can join the mailing list. Okay. Yes. I think you will have the last one.
I just have a question. So is there like a forum on that website where we can continue the discussion, or is it? Oh, yeah, the mailing list. Okay, all right.
But mailing list, and then you can respond whatever question there, or just you submit, send email, and then.
Yeah. Okay. No.
It's. No, we continue discussion and that's okay. Okay, it will be the last.
Actually, I would like to ask, after this workshop, will there be any action carried out? Because actually we have so many great ideas, like we have the newsletter, we have the sponsorship, we have the maintenance website, so will there be any action to carry out?
Well, yes, as said, we have several action points and sections. After when you join the mailing list, I will send, kind of summary of what we discussed. We also have this. We can have the transcript, so I can check maybe if I am missing something, all those ideas, and then we can continue discussion. So I can create document to summarize all those points. So we can continue as a follow-up. So yeah, we have a lot of action points. So then we can discuss about concretely how we will implement them, or if we need also continue discussion, we need more details and so on, and so if there is some priority and so on. Just workshop, guys. I don't worry. I know. No worry. No worry about that. I know Edmund and Yanis and all .Asian Net Mission people, so no worry about that. Okay. So thanks for attending. I think we have quite interesting discussion, more interactive than many other workshops. But good. Thank you, everybody, and I hope that you will have